Hey, look, I understand it. I understand it totally, and I'm fine with it. Don't misunderstand. But, folks, I got my audio soundbite roster here, sent to me by the estimable Cookie. The first 14, how many soundbites do I have? I've got 24 soundbites in the roster today. The first 14 are about air pressure in footballs in the National Football League and whether or not Bill Belichick needs to be put in prison, needs to be suspended. The Patriots need to be kicked out of the league, all because of a possible rules violation regarding air pressure in footballs in games played by the Patriots. Now, I'm all for the attention to don't misunderstand here. And I addressed this in a way yesterday, and I feel like I ought to develop it a little bit more. But it's a bit out of proportion. And look, I say this again, do not misunderstand. It's not sour grapes at all. I'm nobody more fascinated than I am by this, and we're going to talk about it fully. But at the same time, wouldn't it be great if there were even half the concern for the nation's rule book being obeyed and being enforced, and when it's violated, people being outraged and demand that action be taken against the perpetrator? And, of course, I'm talking about the Constitution. And I'm talking about the body of law that exists in this country. It's funny that the scrutiny that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and the Patriots are getting, and the worry and the concern and the hand-wringing over the integrity of the game of the National Football League. That's all fine and dandy, but isn't it funny how there isn't anywhere near that kind of scrutiny? There isn't anywhere near that kind of concern or worry about the integrity of the Constitution and our founding document and so forth. It's a striking comparison to me, folks. It really is. It's funny how in sports there is an overwhelming concern for fairness. There's an overwhelming amount of attention paid to obeying the rules and not cheating and not getting away with cheating. And if you get caught cheating, the proper punishment being handed down in politics. And by the way, what's all that rooted around? Fairness, is it not? I mean, why do you have rules in a sports contest? Well, you have to have rules, obviously. Look, I don't want to be ridiculous here, but one of the reasons for the rules is so that the competition comes under some bailiwick known as fairness. Now, you know me, I have a problem with this whole concept of fairness anyway, in the sense that life is unfair and a political party has turned fairness upside down into a perverted, convoluted political concept. But nevertheless, in sports, it's what it's all about. And in politics, this notion of fairness is a moving target. What's fair in politics is determined solely by whether or not it helps the Democrat Party or not. And if something helps the Democrat Party, then it's fair, no matter what they do. Voter fraud, violating the Constitution, writing law from the Oval Office, writing law from any number of bureaucracies, infringing on the freedoms, the real human freedoms of the American people, lying to them left and right in order to impose upon them things they wouldn't otherwise if they knew support. And ho-hum, oh well, we'll just blame it on the Republicans not knowing how to play the game right. Yep, it's all, there's no love in politics, folks. The aggressor sets the rules if the Republicans can't fight the battle. The problem is, you have referees in sports, you got the league, the commissioner's office. Where is that in politics? About the closest you can come to it's the Supreme Court when you get right down to it. I find it, I don't want to sit here and tell you it bothers me. I don't want to sound all Pollyannish and like a Miss America contestant or something, not to insult Miss America or contestants, but I mean, I'm not trying to be trite here, and I'm not trying to be naive. I mean, this is, to me, a student of society and keen observer of sociological, philosophical, psychological movements, it's all fascinating to me. Because over here in the world of sports, none of this really matters. Sports, for most people, is a getaway. Sports, for most people, is an escape from the humdrum. It's fantasy island. It's pretend. And you know what I say? The great thing about sports, and I'll share this with you one more time. I was with the Kansas City Royals. After one season, all the marketing representatives from all the teams get together at the winter meetings, the annual marketing meetings. We had a speaker come in one year. Was a sociology professor at Harvard. He looked the part, bald-headed, glasses down on his nose, jacket with the leather patches on the sleeves, and a pipe. And he's standing up there lecturing us, but he had a brilliant thing to say. He said the great thing about sports is, the one thing about sports sets it apart from everything else. Sports is the one thing, now listen carefully to this because it is profound. Sports is the one thing in which you can invest total passion without consequence. Meaning you don't have to worry about opening yourself up. You don't have to be guarded. You can root for your team, your favorite players, with everything you got. You don't have to hold anything back. You don't have to worry about being too honest and somebody taking advantage of you. You don't have to worry about being too open and honest and being manipulated. You don't have to worry about anything. And then he said, after saying, sports is the one thing in which you can invest total passion without consequence, he paused to try that with your wife. Your spouse, he meant, meaning nobody is totally open with anybody. Everybody puts up some sort of boundaries to protect themselves. But in sports, you can just forget all that and let it all go. And people do. And the evolution of media and celebrity and stardom and so forth, sports has always had a lofty position on our culture, but now it's even higher. It's up there with royalty. It's up there with actors, actresses, and so forth and so on. But the attention, the concern. I've got audio sound bites here from people, ladies and gentlemen, who will do anything to look past anything Bill Clinton's ever done, look past anything Barack Obama's ever done, but is demanding that Belichick be suspended from the game. The same liberals, hell, not just liberals, but all kinds of people who object to any holding to account Barack Obama or Bill Clinton are the first people to demand that Belichick be sent to prison, exhibiting zero tolerance for the transgressions of Belichick, whatever they might be, or Brady in this case. But there are so many subplots in this story. I wish I had said this publicly yesterday. I have to rely on Mr. Snerdley to confirm for you that I said this. It was during a commercial break on the program yesterday, and we were talking about this Patriots thing. And I got on the IFB, the intercom, to the staff on the other side of the glass, and I said, when this is all said and done, it isn't going to be about Belichick. And they said, what do you mean? It's Brady. Right now, Brady is getting a pass. Brady's the pretty boy. Brady's the guy everybody wishes he was. And Brady's going to get a pass. But I said, but before this is all said and done, I mean, who benefits from deflated football? The quarterback. Who touches the ball all the time at every quarterback? And then last night, here comes John Madden. John Madden out of the woodwork and hey, well, I mean, it's clear that if anybody's responsible for this, it'd be the quarterback, and that would be Tom Brady. Now, there's even subtext and subplots to that. When's the last time you heard John Madden call out a player? I mean, Madden doesn't do it much, even when he was working regularly in the NFL on CBS and then Fox and then NBC with Al Michaels. You know, Madden's a guy. He's an NFL guy, and everybody in the NFL are great. I mean, he's one of the greatest advocates, promoters, defenders of the league, the game there is. I was shocked when he called out Brady like that. And then I had to remember Madden's a Joe Montana guy. And you just never know, speculating idly. This is the beauty of sports. You can talk about it however you want. It doesn't matter to anything at the end of the day. And that's precisely what kind of amazes me about this. It really doesn't matter to anything. And yet, look, that Harvard professor's exactly right. Invest total passion without consequence. I mean, it's all over the place. I don't know, but I would bet that Matt Drudge is getting record numbers of hits right now in the Drudge Report. People trying to find out the latest on this. As I say, 14 out of 24 sound bites I have today are about this. And I'm here to tell you there have been far greater damaging transgressions that have really, really hurt people in this country that have come out of Washington that don't get any attention at all and don't seem to amount to anything that people have grave concerns over. And I just, in one of my dreams and one of my fantasies, if the Constitution and if the laws of our country were treated with the same reverence and respect as the rules governing, in this case, the NFL, do you realize how screwed the Democrat Party would be? You realize if there were this kind of attention from the fans, let's say the Constitution has fans, like the Patriots have fans and the NFL has fans. You realize if the people of this country were as oriented toward fairness and adherence to the rules and angry at cheaters, upset with liars, the Democrat Party would be in big trouble right now. And you could play all kinds of games with this. Okay, let's say a liberal conservative, the Patriots are the conservatives in this case because everybody hates them. Everybody says, oh, they want to get rid of them. So what are the Patriots to do? Well, if the Patriots follow the Republican playbook, then, well, you can... I'll tell you what I would do if I were Brady. Too late for Belichick. He already had a presser today. If I were Brady... His press conference is normally on Friday, but they moved it up to 4 o'clock today, after this program, by the way. And if I were Brady, I'd come out, and I'd laugh. I'd be lighthearted about it. It's just football, for crying out loud. We're talking about air pressure in footballs. He said, man, this is nothing. I finally know what it feels like. I finally know what President Obama feels like to have all these Tea Party people after him. And that would end it. The media would immediately be on the side of Brady, Belichick, and the Patriots. That's how it works. Anyway, let me take a brief time out. We'll get to the sound bites. I'm sure you have comments you want to weigh in on all this. And we shall get started with all the rest of it when we get back.